Sooner Nation, Thunder Nation, we are back. This is the Just Okay Sports Podcast. I'm one of your village idiots, Daryl. I am here with my brother Jared, aka J Rod. Going to be talking all things Sooners today as we recap Illinois. We try to look ahead to Michigan as well. As we get ready to get going, though, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave us a 5-star review. It would help us tremendously. And hit the merch store, man. Been very grateful for all of you that have ordered stuff. Continue to send stuff out and get everything going. So Moneyline Material shirts, I'm a Material Girl shirt are all in there. And if you just want some just okay stuff, there's stickers, there's buttons, there's all kinds of ways to help support the pod. And don't forget, every purchase also goes to help make a wish. And so we want to do that as well. Jared, how are you doing, sir?
I am I'm doing good. I'm doing good. It was a good weekend. Football's back.
It
Football is
is.
back. So I was actually like streaming during Saturday most of the games. So got to watch pretty much all the games, watch game day. I will say the Corso thing was really cool, the send off that they did for Lee Corso.
Yeah,
And he picked perfect on his games, which was insane.
I know,
Um
right?
but yeah, dude, I'm doing good. It's fall is officially here. So that's also nice. I'm a fall guy.
Is it officially
So
fall?
well, Labor Day is like the marks the end of summer, so we're gonna
Oh,
call it fall.
all right, fair enough.
Um, so I'm just glad, dude. It's cooled off here a lot. Like
Dude,
it's
today here is one of the most amazing weather days I've ever experienced. It's incredible here this
it
afternoon.
is it is 73 degrees here, so perfect
Jeez.
weather.
Nice.
So anyway, but yeah, it was a good weekend. I had a lot of fun. There was a lot of games. We're gonna talk about it, but there was a lot of games that I didn't think were gonna be good that turned out to be pretty good. So, but anyway, how are you doing, brother?
Doing great. Lots going on and always busy time of the year when school's first back and going and trying to keep up with all the kids' activities and getting them everywhere. Fortunately, both kids are hurt right now, so we're running to x-ray appointments and physical therapy appointments and all the stuff, but it's good. Life is really, really good. Uh, can't complain a
Yes.
bit. So it's all exciting, man. It's all really, really exciting. So, but let's get to it, man, because football's here. And we had a game on Saturday that everybody was highly anticipating, and it got going. And so let's talk a little bit of Illinois State. The Sooners come away with a 35-3 victory over the sixth-ranked FCS opponent of Illinois State, and getting things going. Jared, what did you see? Just kind of what was your overall takeaway from the game?
I guess I'll just kick it off with the negative. Um, the offensive line somehow looks much better and still bad. Um,
Hmm.
the pass protection I thought was pretty decent. But the running game, not a lot to say positive there. They were getting a lot of push against. I get it that they're a good FCS squad, but I still think you should be able to push those guys around. If
Yeah.
you're a D1, if you're a top tier D1 program, you still push those guys around. And I didn't see a lot of that. But all that being said, Blaylock, give me some of that
Mm.
stock. That dude ran hard and he is not afraid of contact. I'll tell you that. I really liked what I saw from Blaylock. Burks obviously looked good. Batir looked really good. I thought. I'm probably on the based on what I've seen on Twitter and other places. Probably not as high on his performance as other people were, but still thought he performed really well. I mean, it's hard to, when he threw for almost 400 yards, it's hard to,
Yeah. Broke a Baker Mayfield record throughout the
yeah.
night. That's always a good thing.
I'm not saying he played terrible, but I also am not putting my chips on him winning the Heisman because of him beating Illinois State. Um, but yeah, and the defense, I thought the defensive line played really well. And then just the only other negative is, and this is something that I think is kind of it's a negative but a positive. I felt like the linebackers played really physical, but they also played a little wild and a little bit they overran the gaps.
Hmm.
They were out of position a lot. But I thought the guys that were out there looked good. Even Heineke came in, and I thought he looked pretty good.
Hmm.
So there's a little bit of depth there. And then I mean, there's just young guys that are starting to show up. Um,
Hmm.
so you saw a lot of young guys get a little bit of time, and I thought they looked good. So
Yeah.
Portland Guillory, I'd like some of your stock, please. So yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I was impressed with the squad overall. I do think there's some concerns. I think the O line's the biggest one because that's probably what I saw. Because I've gone back and watched the game again. Some of the things I saw on the offensive line, I think, are tougher to. It wasn't even assignment sort of stuff, but it's just like the GT counter. There was a lot of whiffs on like the GT counter kind of thing.
Hmm.
And it just looked like bad. Just couldn't push somebody around. I
Yeah.
mean, so some of those things concern me, but other than that, like kind of everything else I saw that was a little bit of a negative or something I'd be concerned about is stuff that's like you can clean up in practice, you can put on the film. This is your first time in real combat, so to speak, so you can kind of clean those things up. So I think with some coaching, those can get better. But overall, I think that's good. Outside the O line, I was actually pretty happy.
Yeah. And I mean, I think I don't want to make excuses because of the opponent. You should still play well. And we all agree with that. We all said that going into the game. At the same time, Jacob Sexton goes out early with another knee injury. There's been no real update on that, but hate it for him. And who knows? Heath Ozada doesn't play. Your guy EPL does play and then gets yanked after like the second series because he was not playing well at all. Bad pad level, bad hands, bad feet at times, just all over the place. You end up moving Fabechi from right to left and putting Foje in, who got a lot of reps, and there's a lot of good, there's a lot of bad within there. And then Logan Howland comes in and plays at right tackle with Simmons out. So, the hope obviously is that if you play Fasusi instead of Baklinko at left tackle and you bring Ozada back at left guard and Everett and then Fabechi and then Simmons on the right side, that'll be much stronger. And then you'll have those guys we just talked about as your backup within the scenario. So that's the hope. But the other side is, look, I didn't like what I saw from the line, but there are two things I can't figure out for sure. One, is it a running back problem more than it's a line problem? And the reason I say that is Javante Barnes, what, 8 carries, like 9 yards or 12 yards, something like that. I think he went 12. I think he went 8 for 12, somewhere in that neighborhood. Um, Whereas as soon as Blaylock comes in, he averages 5.5 a carry. So, okay. And even the touchdown run he had, I would have said, man, the line didn't block great. But then the next thing you know, there is a crease in there and he squirts right through there for a 6 yard touchdown run, and we never, ever, ever see Javante Barnes do that. Ever. Does not happen. And look, certain plays he's put in a bad position. I posted one in the Discord. 4th and 1. I know you got to get a yard. I know you got to hammer it up in there. But as soon as the line fires off the ball, between the center and the guard, or between the guard and the tackle, sorry, a hole just opens wide as can be. He's supposed to run between the center and the guard, and just to his left is a hole big enough to drive a good sized Silverado right through there, and he just runs right into the back of Everett and crew and gets a yard. Whereas if he cuts it left, look, Illinois State had sold out to stop us on 4th and 1. He takes that ball to the house, and he can't see it, can't do it. And there's other examples like that throughout the game. So now what I don't like, and I can't tell if they are coaching this or for some reason this has just become our culture. There's just not much violence at the line of scrimmage on run plays. My fear is that we have gone to so much of this RPO game that it's kind of coached that out of them, because on the RPO you can't just blow off the ball because you got to give that half a second time frame for your quarterback to make the read and then decide if he's going to throw it or not. And if you blow the guy off the ball and go 2 yards down the field, you're going to get a penalty. And it feels like because we do so much of that, that it's coached out of them just a straight up power game of run, that they don't know how to do it, or that they're coaching them not to do it. So it always looks like an RPO or whatever. I don't know why, but, and even Gabe on their podcast, there's no violence at the line of scrimmage, even on just straight up called run plays. So I don't know. So is it that fixable? Apparently it is, because again, a true freshman came in and went for 5.5 a carry. Went for 60 yards overall on like 9 touches in the game, 10 touches in the game. Seems like he's able to find space and get things going. So put him in there and get it going. Mateer, I thought, looked really, really good. They didn't do anything complex. I think the biggest thing that was interesting to me, I think that they very much made a effort to throw the ball to Jaren Kanak. I think it was a concerted effort to throw him the ball. And I don't know why per se, but like, for example, there are 2 different plays. The early in the game when they hit Kanak on that one, it was like 3rd and like 6, and Kanak goes for like 5. You know what I'm talking about? He runs that little hitch right there. He's about a yard or 2 yards short of the sticks. Burks is wide open just to the right of him, and they don't throw it. One of the bigger catches that he had coming across the middle, kind of on a dig route, sort of. Burks is coming right behind him on a fake out and in kind of route, and if Mateer hits him, it's a walk-in touchdown. He didn't even look at Burks. As soon as he saw Kanak break, that ball was out of his hand and gone. And so I don't know if they're just trying to give Michigan something to look at, or if they really wanted to see what he could do. I don't know, but there was definitely an effort to get him the ball in the game. So, and I thought the defense played great. They played a ton of guys. The only points they give up is because Mateer throws the ball just slightly behind Burks, which, you know, some people saying the wrong route. I understand why he threw the ball where he threw it, but probably shouldn't have thrown the ball anyway. So those kinds of things. But yeah, overall, really good day. I think it is very clear. Here's the number one thing for me takeaway. There's an upgrade at quarterback, period. Period.
There's an upgraded offense.
Yes. And an offensive play calling and scheming. Yes.
Yes.
They didn't do anything special, and they still got yards, still produced, still did all the things, right? So yeah, I mean, overall a good day. And I saw, I think it was George Stoya that tweeted it at one point and said that the stat line from this game, that game, Baker's first start, where he went for 380, whatever it was, the rushing yards and the whole stat line of that game was almost identical to Saturday night versus Illinois State. Was almost identical. So look, that offense came along real well. So I feel okay about it, but we're going to get a real test this week.
Yeah, I mean, one thing about Kanak that I didn't even realize, I knew he played running back in high school, but I saw a tweet where it's like he ran like a 10-200 in
10-3,
high school.
10-3, 7, and yep, in high school.
Yeah, which was like the highest, or it was like the 6th fastest time in Kansas history or something like that for a high schooler.
Yep.
So the dude can move. Like I said, I think athletically he's there. The fumble, I saw some people, like, we were in the Discord and stuff, and some people were crashing out a little bit about the Kanak fumble, and I'm like, yeah, not good, but it's kind of one of those plays where the guy just put his full body right on the ball, and it was a good hit. Like,
yeah, I mean,
doesn't
it was
make it go.
unfortunate, but I mean, again, he hasn't been in super live action, I'm sure, like that in a while.
Yeah.
He gets hit from the left, then the guy comes in from the right, gets his head right on the ball. I mean, I think that's more PTSD from last year, just because the amount of fumbles that we had, right? Like within the season. So yeah, I
Well,
mean,
I think part of the reason they try to go to Kanak is he's one of the guys that hasn't had any real life experience in college on a college offense.
right.
Right. So, but yeah, I mean, like you said, like overall, I'm happy. You want to know. But yeah, like I think we all have question marks. But it's week 1. We'll see how that The one thing, and again, I know you're going to probably roast me for this. One thing I'll give Beatonbow is when he's had the guys that he can put in there. Um, Sometimes the offensive line's got substantially better through the season. Even last
Oh
year, I
yeah.
would say that the offensive line got better. It was still bad, but it got a lot better. Week one was abysmal,
Yep.
and by the end of the season, it's like you're still bad, but you can do something. Um,
Yep.
so but I do think you're right. I mean, I don't see the nastiness we saw from was it the 2017 Joe Moore, like those offensive lines that we had
Hmm.
back in those days where it was just mauling people and making
Yeah.
them like it. I haven't seen that in a while. So
No. And I don't understand where that's gone and why we don't have that and
because
all the different things.
I felt like I saw a lot of that in their high school film with Foje and Fasusi. So it'll be interesting to see if they can bring a little bit of that once they get a little bit settled into the line.
Yeah. Hey, look, at the end of the day, we feel a lot better about our quarterback than Texas does, right? So, I mean, it is what it
Yeah,
is.
Heisman his Heisman odds though. He was Heisman favorite.
Oh, the most majestic, what were the words? Magnificent, majestic, historic, soon to play Archman. I think it was what Paul Feinbaum. I think were all of his adjectives he used.
Dude,
Since Tim Tebow.
the funniest thing was he has a 55 to 1 commercial to TD ratio.
Oh yeah, that
Uh
was great. That was great.
um yeah, I very unimpressed with him. Um I I still honestly feel I haven't got to go back and watch that game, rewatch that game. It's Texas, so I don't care that much. But it was like what going into the fourth quarter, he had like 60 or 70 yards passing going into the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Um so I did throw up for like 100, almost 100 yards, I think, in the fourth. But at the same time, I feel like at that point, Ohio State was running. I mean, I know that they were running a lot more of kind of not necessarily a prevent defense, but a lot more soft defense. Um, so I don't know. I was just not impressed. I'm just happy to see Texas lose and OU win. That's a good weekend.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, um, yeah, young guys, a lot of guys played. Thought seeing Peyton Bowen play good. Tell you a guy that I liked just seeing out there physically that I just am excited to see play. Jeremiah Newcomb, dude. Like that is a guy just looking at him on the field. It's like, oh, you you look like a specimen. Like
Yeah.
wow. Um, really good. So moving on into this week, which by the way, we're supposed to be having Seth Fisher on. That's why we're recording this in the early evening here. But I don't know what happened. We talked yesterday. He was good to go. Um, haven't got anything yet from him on why he hasn't popped on with us. So hopefully we'll get him. If not today and something's come up, we'll reschedule hopefully for later in the week and have him on with us to talk a lot of Michigan because I'd love to hear their take on some things as well. So we'll try to do that. If we don't get it in this pod, keep an eye out for another pod later in the week with him to talk about some things. So moving forward did you get to see any of the press conferences today?
I didn't get to watch any of the press conference. No, I've been working. So
Okay. So I didn't think there was anything super revolutionary out of any of it. Post practice last night, nothing crazy. Um, the two quotes that I found really interesting. Well, let's just talk about this is one thing from the Illinois State game leading into this press conference, and this is why it bothers me. We all were a little bit freaked out when we saw that Jade Knott was listed, third on the depth chart. We all kind of said, well, we know he's banged up, yada, yada, okay. But he's also listed on special teams. But we all kind of said he probably won't play there. They're just listing him as an or. It's going to be later. Well, he did play special teams. He was out there. He was out there on special teams. And then they put him in for two plays in the fourth quarter. Today, the media tried to ask about Jade Knott without asking, what the crap are we doing with Jade Knott? And so it was, well, how is Jaden doing? Is he going to be? Arbuckle's response was this: I feel like Jaden's in a really good headspace right now. Which I was like, okay. And then BV in his presser asked about Jade Knott, said he's almost 100%. So, number one, if he's not 100%, why are we playing him at all? What are we doing? If he's not 100%, why are you playing him against Illinois State at all? And yet you did. Now we're being told he wasn't 100%. You still played him. And then you're saying things like he's in a good headspace. Like, I am really hoping now, like, this is sad, but I'm really hoping he got in trouble. That's what I'm hoping. I'm really hoping that he was being punished by going out there in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping the headspace quote is he was pissed off about being disciplined and now he's over it and he's ready to go. But if this is he's scared because of last year and he doesn't want to play or mad about his money or whatever, I don't love that. And then if he really is still hurt and he can't get himself together and can't get like none of that sounds good for a guy you went and paid really big money for that played all season last year hurt. And now with most likely Tory Blaylock not playing this week, I don't feel great about our options right now. Because based on what I know, it's Xavier Robinson and Javante Barnes that are healthy. So he better get in a good headspace and he better be healthy enough to play. Because if not, we're going to find out real quick if it's the O-line or the running backs or both on Saturday. I didn't love either of those quotes at all. And not too thrilled about it. So your thoughts on those quotes, not actually hearing the press conference, but just me recap it.
Originally when I saw the depth chart, I just thought Jaden Ott's a little dinged up. They want to keep him rested for the Michigan game. That makes sense to me. But then, like you said, he tried out there on special teams, and which is a high injury risk thing to put him in.
Right.
And then he played in the fourth quarter. So I'm kind of going, even after the game, I was kind of going, what are we doing with Ott? Like, there's all this hype around him. Coaches have talked him up. Everybody's talking about him. Didn't play. So I not real sure what happened there. Yeah, I don't know what to think of that situation. It kind of goes back to we've talked about this. It's just why also Barnes started when Blaylock was clearly better.
Yeah.
It kind of goes back to the DeMarco thing. It's like, is DeMarco like, what are you doing with your rotations, dude? You know what I mean? Like, what is your game plan here? Because I don't understand it. I mean, maybe and like I just can't keep going down the path of, well, Barnes is he's just a practice warrior and he's just, he's a practice superstar.
He's really good in pass pro.
Yeah, and it's like, all that aside, what do you mean? Like, what do you like? You've put him out on the field several times. I mean, like, it's kind of funny to me because I agree with Troy. I've never really disagreed with Troy that I don't want Barnes to be RB1. So him going out there RB1 and then looking the way he did, it's like you're just giving ammunition. I don't understand what the logic was behind that start. So hopefully Ott's back. Hopefully whatever that was gets cleared up. But yeah, I'm a little concerned there. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, just wild stuff. Don't know what to think of it. All that stuff. Okay. By the way, just got a message from Seth. He got some things crossed up, got really busy with some other things that he's behind on. So we're gonna shoot for another time this week. So Seth will come on with us at some other point this week, and we'll get something in with him to talk about the Michigan game. So moving on for us, apart from Seth, looking ahead to this Michigan game, Jared, how are you feeling after seeing both games and looking ahead to playing them this week?
Tell you what, the first quarter I was pretty concerned. Because I mean they went right down the field. I think it was twice. Like, it was nothing. Just, I know they're playing New Mexico, but they were kind of firing all cylinders and then kind of swung the other way a little bit. I mean, that was a tight game, really. I feel like that game's a little bit closer than what the scoreboard even shows. I think 34-17 was the final. But I think with like for most of the second half, they were within a touchdown.
Right.
Um, I think, but to put all that aside, I think that, you know, offensively, I think they're kind of like OU. They're having to rediscover their offense a little bit. They've got a true freshman that's starting who I thought looked good. I thought he looked especially for a true freshman, looked really good.
Yeah.
I don't think he's, a Heisman candidate or anything, but I do think that he looked really good. Um, the defense, I think I think I kind of told you just before the pod. I feel like it's a little bit of the Spider-Man pointing at each other meme because their D line looks really solid. Their linebackers just were out of position a lot. There were a lot of times that they got caught up in the wash or they were just out of like they just overran the hole. I mean, like there was a lot of that from their linebackers, which gave New Mexico a little bit of room. And then, like I said, their secondary just did not was just playing soft. It just looked like they were playing really soft zones, and um, New Mexico was able to take advantage of that. But I don't think we can expect a whole lot of that when they play Oklahoma. So,
Right.
um, but yeah, I think they're a good squad. I think they have a lot of talent. I mean, their defensive line is giving me a lot of that's causing me a little bit of sweat.
Hmm.
Because the O line has, while they looked good in pass pro, um, this is a very different level of competition you're about to face.
Yeah.
So I'm concerned because they also were not able to push anybody around. If you weren't able to push around Illinois State, you're definitely not going to be able to push around Michigan.
Right. Right. Exactly. Um, yeah, I mean, from my vantage point, I mean, number one is just that the defense is loaded with thumpers, man. They are physical on that side of the ball. DBs, linebackers, everybody is coming, and they are coming with bad intentions across the board. Now their DBs, I felt like was their weak spot for sure on the day. Definitely gave up some plays, and I feel like we have a receiver core that can take advantage of that for sure. As long as the line can hold up and give time. And so I think that that's definitely one spot. It was a weird game watching it. Um, because I agree the game score wise was close, but like watching it, it didn't feel that way to me. It felt like Michigan was just moved, like you said, they moved it right down the field, scored. They moved it right down the field and scored. They did end up punting on the next one, but they had some really good plays. I think they had like a holding call or something that kind of stalled that drive. Wasn't that worried about it. Now the other side of that is they run the ball a lot. Michigan did, and so part of that is that they just ate clock in the game themselves. You know what I'm saying? As far as just being a methodical run, huddle up game where it's not fast and you're not scoring every 5 seconds kind of a deal. But the defense definitely gave up some plays here and there, had some penalties, etc., that really um, allowed that game to be tighter. But yes, and what's funny is, I mean, and even listening to some of their pods, I mean, these two teams and programs are just carbon copies of each other. It is so great. Like to hear them talk about their offense last year, it's the same as us. And they're saying things like, if you can just get some semblance of offense, then this team can win like 10 games and maybe be in a playoff. I mean, it's like, hey, that's what we said. you know,
Yeah.
uh, our defensive line doesn't have a superstar first rounder on it, but man, we've got 6 to 8 guys that we can really throw out there that can really play. It's like, hey, that's kind of how we feel about this. I mean, it's just on and on and on. There are so many. I would say the big difference here is I think they are highly, highly confident in their linebackers and they question their secondary based off Saturday. I have a little more question about our linebackers and I feel better about our secondary.
Yeah.
Right. So, um, that's kind of where it's at, in there. But look, I think this is a slugfest. Bryce Underwood did some great things, looked much better than he did in their spring game. But he also did some things I think that you can take advantage of if he continues to do those things. Um, but I mean, I feel like this is going to be old school. This is going to feel a lot like Ohio State, Texas in the sense of just defenses just making play after play after play. And whoever is able to finally just make that one offensive play that stretches it out and gets a score is going to be the difference.
Yeah. A big concern is they were able to run the ball. Again, it's, all both of us were against lower competition, but they were still able to run the ball. That concerns me
Hmm.
because if you get a drive where if they can, even if they only get, when you can run the ball, you can only move the ball 30 or 40 yards and still make that a 5 minute drive,
Right.
right? And really grind down a defense. And OU has not shown that ability yet, especially without Blaylock. Blaylock was really the only running back that had any success on Saturday for OU. So that's a concern to me. But yeah, I don't disagree with you. I mean, very similar schools or very similar programs as far as what the expectation is, I guess, so to speak. But I really think you're right. I think this is going to be an absolute old school slugfest type of
Yeah.
football game.
Yeah. And dude, I'm here for it. Like I love those kinds. I say that if the defenses are really playing well, it's fun. If it's just offense not able to do anything, that's just gross. Um, but I think the other way around is going to be really really big. Um, and so we'll see. Guys for me from Michigan to watch out for on offense. Their running back number 22, Justice Haynes, was big in the game. I think he had like 150 yards and a couple scores. Um, and then the other guy is a guy named Klein, number 17, their tight end. I think he had like, dude, and I'm so curious to ask Seth about him. I had kind of looked them up, scouting them up. He's had like 100 yards receiving in his career. He's a senior for Michigan. He's had 100 yards receiving his career. He had 93 yards on Saturday. And he looked like a dude, by the way, too. Like, really run 6'5, 250. Like, I'm like, dude, this guy can play. And then when I went back and was like, dude, I don't remember seeing him last year. Like, what am I? Is he a transfer? Like, what's going on? It's like, dude, this guy's been here for like 4 years and never been used. So I'm really interested in what that's going to be all about. And then I think the other big question mark for them on defense is um, Barham or Braham, their linebacker number one, who took the targeting penalty. Who's going to sub for him, and how confident are they in that guy holding down, holding it down for a half? I think will be really, really big.
Yeah, and that's the thing as well. That's the thing is I think their linebackers are very solid. Like even despite what I've said, athletically they have freaks.
Yeah.
Um, and I think when they do like that, the play that he got called for targeting, like we were kind of talking about for the pod, it's like beautifully executed play.
Yes.
And it's just like you guys said, I think he launched helmet to helmet. It's kind of one of those things where it's,
I,
you
I
know,
look, I don't think he had any ill intentions or any like quarterback sitting there doesn't see him coming. He's coming 1,000 miles an hour. Now, again, I think if he just runs straight through the quarterback, I don't think there's a penalty.
yeah.
But unfortunately, when they went back to review to see if it was a fumble, you can see right before he gets to the quarterback, he jumps into the quarterback, aka launched, and he hit him dead in the head. And I mean, I think that is one of those things they look for. If you launch into a defenseless player with your helmet, they're going to call it. Whereas earlier, they killed that quarterback very much the same, but it was launching the shoulder right into his gut. I mean, I thought they broke his ribs. They hit him so hard, but he got up and kept playing. So if you do that, no penalty. I think if he just runs through him, it's not a penalty. But I think when he jumped into the head, that's when they called it. And obviously they appealed it. Saw Sharon Moore today say that it's for sure uh, upheld. They're not going to overturn it, so he's definitely out the first half. And you know, I guess yay for us, but I also would love to see this team at full strength and see what we can do and go at it that way as well. So, um, just an unfortunate deal. Um, how I mean, we talk about this often. I feel like we didn't really put this in the notes, but I'm just curious. How important do you feel like the crowd is going to be on Saturday?
I think it's going to be very important with a freshman quarterback.
Yeah.
Um, I think if the stadium's really, really loud and they can disrupt, his communication, think that's huge. I mean, I think we already talked about we is you get questions about BV as a head coach, but defensively, I think he knows what to do.
Yep.
So if you add just any amount of chaos to that, that's gonna be huge against, especially against a true freshman quarterback. Like he's
Yeah.
never, doesn't matter which high school you played at, it doesn't matter if it was the top one in the nation. You're not
Yeah.
going to have experienced hopefully what you see Saturday.
Yeah. I agree. It can't just, which was interesting. Sharon Moore was asked about that today in his press conference, or yesterday in his press conference, and he said it's going to be loud. They were like, "What do you know about the Norman crowd and the atmosphere?" It'll be loud. That's all. And it's like, okay, game on. So take that, fans. It's going to be loud. I would take that as an insult if I was a season ticket holder. And it needs to be absolutely unhinged in that place because he is a freshman. And again, I think that's what you saw happen a little bit to Arch on Saturday. I think that moment, that big, huge game, first big start for him. And once he made a mistake, I think it just kind of snowballed on him. And I like just being loud as they come to the line of scrimmage is not enough. It's got to be loud the whole time. This is one of those things they talk about with the Thunder all the time, right? Is even when it's a timeout, it never stops. I mean, that's what every like it's a TV timeout and that place is unhinged and loud and you can't think and you can't hear and it's one of the things that has always driven me nuts about OU fans. It gets deathly quiet. And then as they break the huddle, we start making noise. Like, no, make it where he can't hear Sharon Moore in his ear on the field. Make it where as they're going up to the line and they're starting to check things and move things around that he can't hear. Don't let them have the opportunity to do that at all. Take 5 seconds away from him in the huddle. And now when he gets up the line, everything speeds up and everything's moving faster. That is that much better for you. And the louder you are, they did some tempo this last week. The louder you are, the more unhinged it is. It's hard to go tempo with a true freshman quarterback, which now allows you to be able to sub with a D line that's as deep as we have. That's what you need. And so, man, I just, for all six of you that listen to this podcast, like, you need to spread the word that it needs to be crazy in that place. It needs to be loud and it needs to be rowdy, big time.
A little change of subject just popped in my head. You think that Arch Manning should have gone to Colorado? Because he probably could have got his jersey number retired if
Oh
he
yeah,
for his last
100%.
name.
He
Yeah,
probably would have already had it retired just for being there for 2 years and not transferring. So,
yeah.
yeah, most likely, probably would have
No,
happened.
but no. Back to your question. No, I do think it's going to be important. I hope that we see. Was that 2008 Texas Tech? I was at the game. I think it was 08.
Dude, Josh Norman on the coaches show, they were asking him like, what do you? And he goes, I want there to be a game, and I want it to be this one that replaces jump around. It's time for us to have a game that puts that into history. And I was like,
I,
dang,
I've said
okay,
this before. I being at that game,
oh
I was like, I was never. I was concerned. I was like, it was so loud.
yes,
Everybody was jumping around so much that I was like, this stadium will collapse. Like
yes,
this stadium will collapse. Like there's no
yeah,
way that this is going to keep standing.
yeah,
So anyway, but yeah, I hope we have a little bit of that. But you want to put him in a spin cycle. So
mm-hmm. Yeah, make it really hard on them. Get some false start penalties. Get some I don't know where I'm supposed to go and what I'm supposed to do moments in there. Make them burn
you
some
want to see the
timeouts.
receivers doing this. You want to
Yes.
see,
Yeah, wait, what? Like you want to see I
yeah,
can't hey, come on, what? I can't start giving me signals. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
yeah.
And speed him up, man. And it all happens with the crowd going crazy no matter what's going on. So that's that. We'll get a little more detailed into our preview when we get a chance to talk with Seth. Matter of fact, we're messaging right now trying to reschedule some things. So we'll get that for you this week. And again, really excited to hear from their perspective what they see on the Oklahoma side as well. And it'll be fun. Now, how did we do in our picks last week, Jared? Do you know? Did you tally it up?
Let me look. I don't think we did very well. I'm going to be honest. I don't think we did very well. Let me go back in our messages. We've been texting a lot. A
Yes.
lot. We actually kind of somewhat like each other sometimes. Texas, Ohio State. I think we all won that one.
Yep.
We all missed on the Alabama, Florida State by
Yes,
a
we did.
lot.
Yes, we did.
LSU, Clemson. We all lost.
Yep.
Notre Dame, Miami, we all lost.
Lost. Yep.
And Virginia
Wow.
Tech, South Carolina, we got. So we all are. And we picked OU to cover, I think, and they did not. So we're 3-3 if my math's or no, sorry, 2-4.
2-4.
All
Oof.
of all of us are 2-4, I believe.
Yikes.
Did
Yikes.
Troy send us his picks? I think he
He
sent the
did.
same.
He did. I know he sent us the picks in there at some point. Um, there it is. He picked Ohio State, Alabama, Clemson, Notre Dame, South Carolina. He did say OU wins, but does not cover. So Troy is three
Troy
and
is three
three.
and three, and we're 2-4.
Yep. Yep.
Okay. All right.
Wow.
All right. So are you ready for the picks this week?
Yes.
Not as I would say, not as much of a powerhouse lineup, but there's some sneaky games. Some
Yep.
sneaky games. So
Absolutely.
we'll start off with a one that's got a big point spread, but both teams looked good in their opener. USF at Florida. Florida's favored by 17 and a half.
Woo.
USF was all over Boise State.
Yes.
So
Yes, they were. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, I mean, Florida's going to win the game, but I think they might win by 17. So I'm going to say they win, but they do not cover.
okay. Um I'm gonna take Florida and the points.
Oh, wow. Going for it.
Florida and the points, yeah.
Okay.
And Troy picked USF actually to cover. So
Wow.
Iowa at Iowa State, the Battle of the Corn. Um, Iowa State favored by 3 points. Which, by the way, we were talking about this a little bit before. That Kansas State win looking a little funky after Kansas State struggled to beat it was North Dakota, South Dakota, somebody. But
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah, I mean, emotional letdown traveling back across the pond, not too shocking to me.
living in Kansas, yeah.
Yeah. Um, for me on this one, ISU to cover. I think Iowa State covers just fine. I think they showed themselves to be a good team against Kansas State. They bounced back really strong this last week. And Iowa still has no offense. So I'm going to go ahead and pick them to cover.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Iowa State as well.
Troy is taking Iowa, by the way.
Troy's taking Iowa.
Ty-
All right, all right. Next one up, and I kind of giggle, I kind of giggle at this one a little bit because OSU fans are very much on the copium train. Oklahoma State at Oregon. Oregon's favored by 28 and a half points.
yeah, Oregon all day. Thank you very much because
Yeah, or Oregon in the points. Yeah.
and I'm sure did you hear about the Mike Gundy Dan Lanning feud that's now been started?
No.
So Mike Gundy basically said something to the effect of college football's at a point right now where we just can't afford to compete. Like we can't buy the players we need to buy. And so they're just on a different level than we are. To which Dan Lanning then popped back off and said, hey, I I don't want he goes, I have a lot of respect for Coach Gundy, but as far as where we're at, yeah, we have deep pockets and we want to win. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to do what we have to do to win. And he goes, and last I checked, he wasn't mad about having more than I'm sure than UT Martin does. And he went out there and played just fine. So I don't really want to hear about who bought what and did what. I just want to go out and play football. So I think Dan Lanning's going to think
Make a
he's
point.
found a reason to have an edge in this game now. Yeah. I don't think
I
I think he felt like Mike Gundy was basically saying, you're not a good coach. You just bought all the best players.
yeah, which I could see Lanning doing kind of like the Colorado thing where go out there and really truly make a point and just
Yeah,
stomp
we're
them.
not here for clicks. We're here for wins. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, if you, I'm not gonna lie, it was a pretty good little speech. Anyway,
yep.
next up, Baylor at SMU. SMU is favored by 3.5.
Woo. Man, this one's tough. I think give me SMU. Give me SMU.
I'm gonna take Baylor.
Yep,
I'm
that
take
one's tough.
Baylor. That one's
I
tough.
I feel like SMU is just a little bit better. But I also think Baylor's completely ticked off that they let a game slip away and they're going to come in with a huge edge after losing to Auburn the way that they did. Um, but I think because it's at SMU, I think they're just going to have a little edge and be able to pull that one out by a touchdown.
Yeah, everybody knows those rich prep boys are known to be loud. Um, Troy also took Baylor, so
There you go.
I just think that I do think that they probably have a better squad, SMU does, but I still think Dave Aranda's a defensive genius. So I think they'll have some success.
Yeah, I
Uh,
don't feel that way after watching what Auburn did to them for 4 quarters.
yeah, we were talking about that. I don't know why there wasn't put two spies on Jackson Arnold because he can't throw. Anyway, next up, this one I found interesting because Illinois is ranked. Let me look at the AP poll. They're ranked 11th in the AP poll.
Jeez. But Duke had a
Uh,
really good week 1 game. That's the thing. Duke was one of the biggest jumps uh I know in the S&P Plus this week. They jumped like 16 spots or something crazy like that.
yeah.
Um
So, well, either way, you have another number 11, number 12 ranked team somewhere in there. Illinois favored by 3. It's at Duke. Who do you got?
Give me the Illini, man. They've been playing some stout defense the last couple years, so I think they'll be able to hold it down and get it done.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Illini on that one too. Troy took Duke, by the way.
Atta boy,
Troy took Duke.
Troy.
Michigan at OU is our final one, of course. The spread is now 5.5. I think this was like a 1.5 or 2.5 point spread. It's gone to 5.5 now after the weekend. So Michigan at the University of Oklahoma.
Hmm. I legitimately do not know who's going to win this game, but I'm going to take Michigan to cover because either Michigan's going to win or we're going to win by like a field goal at the end. I think it's going to be that tight of a game for me personally. So, Michigan to cover.
I'm gonna take OU.
Okay.
You're gonna cover. I don't think it's gonna be. I think they're gonna win by a touchdown.
Wow.
So, and our boy Troy picked Michigan to cover. So, a little bit of spread. We at least we didn't all pick the same this week. So I don't know. It's gonna be a fantastic game. It's kind of cool to see us have a big game matchup like this early in the season.
Yeah.
As tough as the rest of our schedule is. Um, yeah. I mean, maybe not against Bama anymore. Who knows? Yeah. We didn't even get to talk about that much, but DeBoer, I don't know.
Woo.
Unless he wins every game the rest of the season, I don't know that he has a job.
Hey, even more so than DeBoer, okay? Jay Norvell.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man. Like,
Which
which, by the way, Jay
which
Norvell
by the,
should give you hope for Brent Venables as well, because Jay Norvell's first couple years at Florida State were awful. Then he goes 13-0, and they don't let him in the playoff. He loses everybody, goes 2-10, and then just walks out and beats Alabama. I mean, dude's a decent coach, man. He's a decent
yeah,
coach. That is,
and that did not look like a week one jitters type game. That looked like Florida State was the better team, to be honest.
they looked really good. That
Which I did think
quarterback.
they got. I
Whew.
did think that they got some big transfers.
Yep.
Their D line looks pretty nasty. So we'll see how Florida State turns out. But yeah, I mean, also another weird game because if I recall, Alabama drove straight down the field, scored like it was there going through butter, and I was like, well, here we go. And then Florida State just kind of pounded them back. So, um, yeah, I really like Jay Norvell actually, as much as I hate to say because I don't like Florida State, but I think he's a good coach. So, yeah, some good matchups this week. I'm interested to see. I'm just ready for football on Saturday, so
Yeah.
um, we'll see what happens. But I mean, at the end of the day, I think that we can all be happy that we put up more like offensive yards in one game than we did all of last season. I mean, it was interesting. I do, the other thing is, Jackson Arnold. We didn't talk about him that much, but just real touch on that. kind of looks like the same guy from last year. Cannot throw the ball. He's a really good runner.
Yep.
Cannot throw the ball to save his life.
Yeah. Was really dangerous with his legs in the Baylor game. But again, you can look at it however you want. Uh, they knew they could run the ball and they ran it, or they didn't trust Jackson Arnold. I'm leaning towards they didn't trust Jackson Arnold. Um, I mean, they ran the ball 48 times and they threw the ball, I believe, like 16 times in that game, something like that. I mean, you do not trust your quarterback if you're going to run the ball 48 times in a game compared to 16 or
Arch Manning.
17 passes.
Arch Manning.
So yeah, it was interesting. But hey, he won the game, walks out of there with a W, and that's all that matters at the end of the day, right? So, um, it is what it is. But it was a great week one of college football, and man, to every AD and president that signed off on some of these games, thank you. Clemson, LSU, awesome. Notre Dame, awesome. Ohio State, Texas, awesome. I mean, there were just great games across the board to watch this weekend. It made Saturday so fun. I mean, we kicked it off with Texas and loved watching every second of that game. Then you had Notre Dame the next day. I mean, just you
Well,
had
and
the
it,
big one that night. It was awesome.
I feel like 5 years ago, even you wouldn't have seen games like this so early in the season. You may have one. You always had like kind of that one marquee matchup week one to kind of get everybody warmed up,
Right.
but then everybody else was playing nobody, right? So the fact that you had so many good matchups across the board in week one is really nice because it's. I was telling somebody, I was like, I remember week one most of the time that I can remember in my life. It's like week one was like, oh, it's good, football's back, but there's no good matchups, you
Right.
know. And there was a bunch this week, so yeah, it was a good, fun weekend. I spent a lot of time in front of the TV watching football, so
Yeah.
I'm happy.
And shout out to Lee Corso. You mentioned it before we got on the pod, but um
I was it was a really good moment for them. The tribute video they did and everything was really heart
yeah.
touching and everything. I I say all that to say I'm glad that he finally retired because it was
Yes.
getting very, very sad to watch
Yeah.
him
Yeah.
up there. But yeah, it was and he perfect on his picks.
I know.
How
What
better of a
a
send off?
what a way to go out, man, with the headgear and everything, go perfect on it all. I mean, it was a great send off, but I agree. I mean, the game day will never be the same without Corso. Period. It just won't. But it hasn't been the same for like 3 years with Corso because it's just not been him,
I
And
feel like the only hope is that they keep leaning into the whole um Saban and why is his name slipping my head right now? Holy
Pat
crap.
McAfee.
McAfee. They're kind of just different personalities and how they kind of somewhat clash kind of is entertaining, but
Yeah.
it won't be the same as Corso was.
No. No. And I mean, it just depends. Like McAfee's one of those guys that, half the people love, half the people hate. And so
Did
Corso
you
really
see
was loved by everybody.
the Ohio State kid that kicked the field goal and kind of conned him a little bit?
No, I missed the field goal kick.
He was like, because it's supposed to be like, oh, you've never kicked before or whatever. Like it's supposed to be they're trying to find somebody that can't kick the field goal really.
Right.
And I got him up there when he was about to kick the field goal. He's like, so have you ever kicked before? And he's like, oh, I've kicked before. And he like McAfee was like, what? And he was like, oh, I like my brother kicked in high school or something, so I used to kick with him sometimes. And he was like, okay. So anyway, $250,000, and kid gets up there and nails it.
Uh-uh.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
So I was like, he kind of finessed McAfee a little bit, so that was kind of funny to watch. But
That's
yeah,
hilarious.
I don't necessarily mind McAfee with having somebody like Saban to kind of cut him a little bit, but yeah, I mean, great week of football. So a game day we'll miss Corso. So tribute to
Absolutely.
Corso.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, well, again, guys, thanks for watching. Again, we'll have Seth on later this week, so be looking for that as we preview the Michigan game a little bit more. It's going to be a big one. Show up and do it. And hey, again, get online, help us out, get some merch, get a Moneyline Materia shirt, get a Material Girls shirt, redbubble.com. Look for Just Okay Sports. You can get those within 3 to 6 days. So if you hurry and get one, you might have it here by the game on Saturday, but it'll be a good one to have. It looks like for the rest of the season. So do that, and then like, subscribe, follow, leave reviews, all that stuff. We would really appreciate it. We're having a great time. We hope you are too. I'm Daryl. That is Jared, and we will talk to you guys later.
Bye, Baker.